Hear me? No? Yes, okay. Thank you, Tia. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. Old. Oops. Pen's not working right. Thank you for letting me know that, Tia. Get my pencil right. Okay, what I'm doing here. Oh, great. Everyone can hear me. I apologize for that. Um, I forgot to hit the turn on the microphone. And what I'm doing here is to recap real quickly. A lot of people have asked me, Wayne, can you just draw just like you would do in your sketchbook, like what you post on Instagram? You know, just those drawings, those sketchbook drawings. So I decided to give this a shot by myself to see if I'm able to pull off this live stream by myself, which I think it's working now, so very good. But what I'm doing here is I'm just showing what you can do with shapes that you really aren't even sure of. You just letting your imagination go. So I've done three different characters here. Here we got this shape. I'm going to make this much clearer. And you guys, as I'm drawing, I'm not going to be able to look up all the time to see your questions. But if you do have some, go ahead and ask, and I'll try to reply to them. But here we got this shape. I just put an ear on it, and now I'm going to put this character's eyes are going to be separate, meaning they're going to be spread apart. And I'm not going to, we're here, I'd put them close together. And all of these little nuances, like I'm putting in here, all of them will change your characters completely. So you want to be aware of it. It just will give a certain attitude to your characters that you're trying to find. So when you're drawing from reference, it's caricaturing, and I don't think of myself really as a caricature artist, but you will notice that all these things will contribute to the design of the character. Now I've created these different designs like so, but these are really just quick ideas. I'm not worried so much about, you know, the final look of them at this point, because I know I can go back into it and I can refine it more and more and more. But I got something to start off with. So this is what I will do in my sketchbook. I'll put in a shape like this, and let's say I put in a nose right here, and I'll have the eyes right there where everything blends in to this big shape, and I'll put in little ears down here, put in where the mouth is going to go, and we'll say he's saying something. Here's his teeth, the tongue, and let's give him some big eyebrows right there. And with, oh, also what I want you guys to know is when I'm drawing the big shapes, you can't see my shoulder. I draw the big shapes from my shoulder down to the tip of the pencil. But when I'm putting in little details like that, that is within the wrist and the fingers right there. So be aware of that. But when you're putting in the big shapes like so, try to draw from your shoulder, because what that does is it gives you these long, fluid, organic lines, which will make your drawings much more appealing. The way you're able to put in Bremation, Bremation Station 992. The way you do it is by putting in, I'm going to keep going over this drawing. I draw from my shoulder all the way down. Then I put in a shape, I'm thinking mustache. I'm going to make them a little sleepy looking right there. I'll put in a chin there, but everything, understand, everything's being built off of that big shape. This one right there. I'll put a little goatee down here, little beard off there. And remember on this one, I put in little ears. Well, let's see what happens if I give this guy bigger ears right there. And then we'll give him hair that just comes straight back like so. Back of the head, neck, right there. I hope that helps. That's what I'm talking about as far as building off of your big shapes. Now, we're doing cartoons here. It is important for you all to know that if you're drawing the human figure, which you know I'm always recommending you do, it's important that you do study it anatomically. And what I mean by that, let's just go to, by the way, I'm drawing on TV paint here. Let me see other questions. Very cool. Thank you. But if we're drawing, if I'm drawing the human figure, and I'm going to take a simple standing pose. And that's line of action comes in. Notice how I'm simplifying. There's rib cage, lower torso. Keeping it simple. This isn't about anatomy. Keeping it simple, but I am thinking in a realistic way. Stretch side, squash side comes in. Landmark of the rib cage there. Breasts come off of that rib cage, I'm going to put a leg down here, a leg there, and you'll see with me just putting in these simple lines like this, I already got something to go off of. This is right there. It's basically done as far as the gesture of it. And this is all drawing out of my head. I don't have any reference for this, but when you draw it long enough, I'm going to keep going here. There's the head angle, jawline, neck. The front of the neck comes down into the torso like so. An ear, give her hair that just comes off of the back of the head down like so. The shoulders right there coming down. Belly button is a landmark. Breasts come off in a V shape from the pit of the neck off there. This shape and then form falls in front of her upper torso, her chest. Breast's gonna overlap there, break in the arm there, forearm. I'm gonna have, watch this, I'm gonna have the hand in a gesture just coming down like so. If I wanted to, I could have the hand in a gesture come up like so. And I'll just leave it like that for here. And now we got tilt of the shoulders, tilt of the head, tilt of the pelvis coming in here. Think of the legs coming off and fitting up into that pelvis. We want the knees to line up. I'll just draw a line because we're just sketching. We're not trying to make a finished, beautiful drawing at this point. Legs fit up in there. Her right leg fits up there. It's coming up. Breaking the knee, breaking the knee. This one is going to be a little relaxed. the foot, and the weight is really on that leg for the most part. I'm going to make her a little pigeon-toed. I'm not worried if I'm running off of the page, but this is a little bit more of drawing in a serious way. It's not as cartoony as what I had done before. I hope that makes sense. And here, and now I can put on, I'll put some pants on her. Right there, comes in, fold. We'll say she's got some tight, like Levi's or something on. Use the folds in your clothing to show the form. I hope that makes sense. Same thing here. Her pants are rolled up. I'm using the form of the roll and the overlapping form right here to show the direction of where those forms are going. We'll put her into like a tank top. Straps come up there, there. Put in some folds there, and the shirt's going to be tucked into her pants right there. Then in the hair also shows the direction of where everything is going. So here we got the overlapping of this arm. It's going away from us a little bit. Overlapping of the pants right there. She's got some shoes on. And there it is, just a rough sketch. Does that make sense? Hey Wayne, do you prefer 3D animation or traditional? I prefer traditional. I tried 3D, you know, and I like it, and I love the films that come out with it, with using 3D animation, but I had come to realize that the thing I really enjoy, and I didn't know it until 3D came out, the thing I really enjoy is seeing drawings come to life. And especially, if this sounds narcissistic, especially when I get to see my drawings come to life. But any drawings, actually, I gotta tell you, when I see pencil tests, it's my favorite thing to see. Of all animation, I love seeing pencil line drawings move at 24 frames a second. That's my favorite. And then I'll put in a couple lines to show. So there you saw. Remember how I'd started this with that gesture. And you can do that if you're drawing, you know, things that are moving in space away from us. You want to always think about, you guys, always think about how these forms overlap in front of one another. Right here, I got a ball back there. Here I have another shape that is in front of the ball. Right there. Here, I'm going to show you something. This ought to be pretty interesting for you. Okay, here we go. We got 3 balls that are interlaced with each other. When I erase this and erase that, now this ball is in front of this ball, which is in front of this ball. But if I go back and put those in there, when I do this is very important. When I do this, just the opposite happened. Just by erasing those lines, and now this ball is in front of this ball, which is in front of that ball. This is true of all the shapes and forms that we see in our drawings. Anything that is distorted in foreshortening. Let's see. Rami Animation. Hi Wayne, glad to see you drawing. Thank you, Rami. I have a question. Is the only way to understand body mechanics is to study gesture drawing? I mean, for animation, like the real way of how human beings move. Yes, I would have to say yes to that. It is the only way. It's studying it in live action. You, like I've told you before, you got that internet, and there's so much material out there. You can find almost anything, but study it also in animation books. Study how all the masters had done it. That's another way to study it. But yes, you do have to understand the way that weight is distributed from one side to the other. And it just matters what kind of walk you want to do. If you have a walk that is very gestural, where the shoulders and the hips and the head are tilting in opposite ways as the character is moving, all that means is that you're going to exaggerate that more. But if you have a character that is very simplified and graphic, like a UPA character, where just the feet are moving and there's no up and down, you can get away with that too. Remember, in animation, you can do pretty much anything you want to do. If you're going to do more of that classic, Disney, Pixar animation, you do want to study the mechanics of it. It's just like for animating a horse. You really have to study a horse for those movements. From what I understand, Milk Call, when he did Khan from Jungle Book, he had studied the real life movements of a tiger to the point to where he no longer needed the reference. So he put tons and tons of hours into studying the mechanics of a tiger, with those big shoulders moving back and forth. So the answer to that is yes, you need to study it for that type of animation. Hope that answers it. Preperos, I hope I pronounced that right. Hi Wayne, do you prefer TV Paint or Toon Boom Harmony? TV Paint. The only reason why is because I learned TV Paint and I don't know Toon Boom Harmony. I hear that it's really good. I really don't think there's going to be any difference, to be honest with you. I don't know. I also use Rough Animator on my iPad, and I really like Rough Animator. I've come to find I use what's the other one? Oh God, I can't remember right now. Anyway, I think it's not so much the software. I've come to realize it is just getting familiar with the software, and the one you're most familiar with is going to be the one that you're going to be using, and makes whatever you find is easiest. So that's with me. I mean, I usually, when I draw, I just don't have it set up for YouTube for the live streams. I usually use Sketchbook when I'm just drawing, but I don't have that set up for YouTube, so I'm just using TV Paint right now. So for shortening, that's what I wanted to get into. Okay, I'm just gonna make something up here. I'm thinking something that's going away from us in perspective, and I'm going to exaggerate it a lot here. Now, you guys, the human form is what I like to draw the most, more than anything else. So when I'm drawing the human figure, some people get sort of like offended by it. Please don't. It's just the human figure. It's all over fine art. I'm a big fan of modern art. But anyway, what I'm doing here is I'm going to draw a figure that is going away. It's a female nude. Here is her foot right here. Here's her foot, big toe, smaller toes right there. And what I do is I keep searching. You guys, I don't just go with my first line that I put down. Like I put the head right here. I'm going to put the head over here more so, looking down. And this arm I'm going to have coming back this way slightly. Thing I want you to notice when I'm drawing these simple forms, I am overlapping the forms as she is going away from us. So here's her foot overlapping in front of her calf, which is going to be right around here. There's her thigh. Here's her glutes. Back there, the spine. And this arm here, scapula. This arm I'm going to even make more foreshortened, where the hand's really going away. And these are all just quick sketches. Remember, I'm not trying to draw the Sistine Chapel or anything here. This is just practice. That's all this is. This is what I believe, honestly, makes your draftsmanship that much better, is by practicing the different shapes and volumes that fit into one another. I'm going to have that leg come off that way. This arm now is coming back towards us. I'm going to show little bottom of the hand there, gesture of the fingers, and then some hair. That's just pulling away. And remember, I don't try to get all anatomical. I am not an anatomy expert. I just know the basic proportions of where everything goes. And this would be an animation rough drawing. If I was drawing this figure, she's going away from us in perspective, like so. Put some bracelets on, and then I can put on anything else I want to. Let's check some questions. Yes, I am doing. Hey Wayne. Let's read this. Hey Wayne, I'm doing a punching test of a character. Do you know how I can give the punch more impact, like make it feel like there's force? Yes, how to get more force within your animation. Let's say in a punch, let's say that we got an arm that's back like so. Here's the fist. That's number 1. And then number 2, the arm is just starting to come. I'm going to say it's an uppercut. We'll say there's someone's face, a jaw right there. And it's coming out this way, starts coming up towards the jaw right there. This drawing, number 2, is just starting out from number 1. And then on number 3, the drawing is just going to be up. And there's the punch right there. And there's the face that gets hit back right there. But on this drawing, the important thing to remember is this drawing is the impact right there. right there. So when you come out from 1, 2, just slowing out, and then boom, comes out, hits, that's how you're going to get the impact. That's how you get it in other types of action also. If I've in between 2 and 3, and I did 2 more drawings, it's going to look like this. Let me see if I can see myself. It's just going to look like, whoop, right there, like that. It's going to be like that instead of it, boom, instead of the power of it. So slow out and then just go directly to the quick shot of the impact punch. Hope that answers it. Yes, I saw Milk Call interview. The thing is that it was live action, but I thought of a simpler method, and I think studying animation would be better for beginners. Yeah, Rami, I think that's true. I think in the beginning, seeing as how it's already there, study the animation. I always studied the all the animation I could back then. I had it on Super 8 film, and these days the great thing is that you can go frame by frame on YouTube or the other platforms and study it that way in the beginning. But if you're going for something specific, like a tiger, elephant, the way a gorilla. I remember when in Tarzan we took some classes on the locomotions of a gorilla, and they brought in an expert. It's all good to study. Let's see, yes, McCall, I'm using an older version of TV Paint and I'm struggling with the lack of stabilize. Oh, it's not very stable? TV Paint. I haven't figured out how to turn it on and my hands are shaky. Don't know what to tell you about that. I don't know. That's weird. I haven't had any problems with TV Paint. It is expensive. I do know that, but so far, I got the cheapest version. I mean, I didn't get that professional version. I don't need that. All I do is do pencil tests. Another question. Let me see. Preparals. Another question. If I'm not bothering... On character turnarounds, I don't have that much time, but let me... on a turnaround, let's say you got your character, and we'll say this is the front view. And again, I'm just going to do this very simple. I don't like that. So if you got a character, you know, something simple like that, we'll give him a hat. And then he'll have a... I don't want to... I'm going to spend a little bit more time on it. Okay, the thing to do, I hope you guys can all see this. The thing to do on your turnarounds is, and you got to spend time on them. Don't be in a hurry, you guys. Don't be in a hurry. This stuff takes time. I'm just trying to draw because I only got a certain amount of time. You want to put horizontal lines all the way across. Top of the hat, let's say. Top of the head, draw through your basic design, top of the shoulders, and so on, and arms. Okay, so and then the chin right there. Okay, so then I got all these horizontal lines. This is what I'm going to do a lineup. I did my first drawing there. Okay, I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna draw in the shape, basically, for the head, right there. I know where it falls, right there. and then I'm going to figure out the nose, where the nose roughly falls, but the nose can be, you can cheat it. It's do understand this, when you look at Mickey Mouse and we look at his snout right there, there's his eye line. When Mickey turns on a front view, it's a cheat. We're going to come over here, go horizontal, but it's a cheat. The nose comes down here. That's what you can get away with. And no one ever notices it until it's pointed out to them, but this is what actually happens. So you can do that with your cartoon characters. This one I'm going to keep very simple. I'm going to come across here. I'm going to just put his nose right about there. Eyes there. The hat, I know the hat is going to be lining up around here. The ear falls, I'm going to put it in the middle. I can change the shape of the head for the profile back there. I'm going to keep the volume of the hat better than what I had there originally, and I'll change things. I keep changing stuff. And then here's the bottom of his body. I'm going to make it where he has a belly that comes out here for the profile, a little bit straighter back, and the arms roughly come right about there. There. There's the hand. The feet come somewhere in there, and I'll show the other foot over somewhere around there, and there's that belt line. I'm going to bring the neck down into it. And there we got the character in a profile view right there. So I first did this one. I did all my horizontals. I'll keep looking at it. I think I pushed that back of it too strong. There, that feels a little bit more accurate. The head is coming down into it. So I'm going to make sure that he comes back down that way. It's into it. And that's what I'll do. And then what I would do is, to make a 3/4, I would take these two drawings and then start to put in a 3/4 view. Roughly. Because I'm just sketching at this point. And it also matters, don't forget what the design is. Don't forget what kind of design is it? If you're doing a more realistic, straight character, it's going to take more time and more focus. But I'm just showing you real quickly here how to go about. And I'm thinking that most of you are just learning this. So that's why I'm trying to keep everything real simple. And now I'm coming in and I'm cheating his feet as he comes around. And then he comes around. So now we got 1, 2, 3. We got 3 roughed out ideas of how to turn around this particular character. Okay, I think I got it. Turnarounds, there's turnarounds. Oh my god. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear Preparos, if that works. I had noticed about Mickey's ears, but never about the nose. Oh yeah, that's true. You got a good point. Mickey's ears, they're like this. They really do not, oh, that's not very good, but they don't turn in space. They just kind of move like that. And remember one thing with Mickey also, everything comes in to that center point, including the widow's peak. Everything fights. each other come in, and even the eyes will come in. I haven't drawn Mickey in a long time. Everything kind of focuses in like so. That's a horrible Mickey. Okay. Let's see. By the way, that's how you come up with characters, you guys. You put in the shapes, and it's not always. I've been showing you all these circles. You could do abstract shapes, like so. I'll sit here and what am I gonna make out of here? Give this guy. And this is what I'll do. Like I said, that's really what this live stream was about. Me just drawing sketches. Just drawing and trying to get a little bit of action in there. This leg's coming forward, pants down. This time I'll give this character hands that are longer. You can make any shape into a character. I really believe that. You can. Not believe it. I know it for a fact. And some will be cute, some will be successful, and some will be awful. But you'll learn off of just doing things like that. Just keep your pencil. Just keep it busy all the time. Don't. Even times, unless you're really burned out, don't let your pencil rest. Be it paper, no matter what you're on. Also this is really important. Practice lines with your whole arm, like I'm doing here. I'm using my entire arm from my shoulder. I have done pages like this too. And then I'll go in and I'll make little marks. And that's all these are. They're just marks, but I'll practice it where I can go horizontal, vertical, 45, 90 degrees, put in shapes that are moving in space. From there, let me open another page. So let's say we got a box that we're drawing and it's moving in space right here. Here we have the box. Okay, here's a good exercise. What's going to be the next movement of this box as it's coming down? I'm going to come right off here. That's the back of the box here. I'm going to show a little bit of the side plane. Here's the front plane. Like so. And now it's turning down that way, but let's continue on. Here's the back of the box there. We're going to see the top, this plane, more. And this is just for practice, where you're visualizing these shapes moving in space. And so it's coming down, it's continuing on, but you know what? When I did this, I look at it, I'm going to say I made it turn in space down that way and out that way. But what if I want to just keep it coming down in this direction? Okay, well, I sort of blew it there. I brought it off to the side more. So I'm not going to give myself a break and just bypass it. I'm going to sit there and try to analyze it even more so. And we're going to see less of it and more of the top. As it comes down. Don't like that. If that's here, this is here. Here we go. And now we got it turning more in the correct perspective as it keeps coming down in that direction. And then let's make a big step. We're going to see this side of the plane just slightly. The back is now going to become the bottom. And I keep working it, and now we're seeing this back right there. We can't see it there if we're going to draw dots through it. That's the side I'm talking about, which is this side now. It's completely flipped over, and now I'm seeing these shapes and forms turn in space, which is really important to do, you guys, because that's what animation is all about. When we go to tie down our drawings, you can be very loose with your characters. If it was a Mickey, very quickly, and I had to just draw Mickey and he was running, let's say, and here's his tail and he's running out in that direction. Here are the very loose drawings that I would put in. But I'm going to have to go back in and tie down these drawings. And when I go to tie them down, it is doing these sketches in my sketchbook that is going to let me go back in and tie these down and put it within drawing to fully realize the drawings. Because I know how to draw shapes and forms into my cartoon characters. Doesn't have to be Mickey. Mickey, by the way, is he is one of the harder characters to draw because everybody is so familiar with him that if anything's off, which I always see, he's a good one to practice. But drawing, because I know how to draw those shapes and forms and I practice it. That's the main thing. I practice it. I'm able to come in and put more drawings within my roughs as I draw them. And here he is, and his feet coming back that way. He's got those big Play-Doh hands, those big Freddie Moore, I'll say, type of hands. And this isn't even a tie down yet, but this is what I would put in as I proceed in drawing them. And he's coming forward and he's stretched out there. And then if I go back in even more so to tie it down, it's going to be clearer and cleaner and more realized because of doing these type of drawings right there. It's very important. You saw me start this drawing off with just a very simple scribble, and I can continue on with this until it's fully realized before I would hand it off to the assistants who put in the final cleanup line. And the more that the animator puts into their drawings, the better the scene is going to come out. Because if you leave it too rough, as if when I first put down these rough drawings of Mickey, if I had passed it off with just those rough lines like that, you're letting the assistant have control over your scene, and if it doesn't come out correctly, you can't blame the assistant. It's on the animator. It's the animator's job to make sure that the animator puts in enough drawing into their roughs to where when the assistant gets it, they're not gonna screw it up. They're not gonna. You can't blame them for anything. All they did was go off of what you, the animator, were supposed to do. Hope that makes sense. Oh. Good, good, good. I'm glad. Glad, by the way, such a cute little character. Cool. Ultimate Bear Beast? Cool. Just like Richard Williams showed. Yes, Richard Williams, you guys, I'm telling you, that book is the book on animation. That one and Eric Goldberg's book. I want to create cartoony characters too, but I don't know what you're using as a setup. Using paper just is a waste. I just use PC. Oh, you know what? Ultimate Bear Beast. I really don't. I draw. Well, I draw for the most part now. I will say more digitally, like I'm doing here. But I still draw in sketchbooks. I learned in sketchbooks. I don't really find really any big difference. I like personally when I draw in the sketchbook, I like using, I'll use pens, but I like soft lead pencils or Prismacolor black. I like just the soft one. It just keeps me looser, but sometimes I'll just go to HB pencil. The big difference with digital and, for me, digital and paper is the redo button. A lot of times when I draw in a sketchbook now, I'll go up to look for that redo button. It's kind of a habit that digital will put in you, but I don't find much of a difference. Drawing to me is drawing. Now for animation, I definitely prefer using digital, just because you can animate and you can see your tests immediately after you do it instead of having to shoot it. I always hated shooting my animation. It's just I'm too impatient for it. Just having to put down all the layers and everything was just, you had to do it back then. But now that you got digital, I think digital's just much better. Now, I have been asked a lot of times, do you think if you learn to animate on paper, if it's better for learning than it is digitally? I got into a debate with that with my buddy Mike Rico, and he thinks so, and I didn't think so. But now, when I think about it, maybe it is better. Maybe by rolling the drawings, flipping your drawings, it gets into your subconscious more. I don't know, to be honest with you. I would try both. If you can afford it, you got to make a desk with a hole and get the disc and everything. But anyway, that's just my thought on that. Hello, Chris. How you doing, buddy? My buddy Chris there. Let's see. Well, let's just keep drawing here. I don't know what I'm gonna create here. Let's do thumbnails. Here's a thumbnail of, what if you're drawing a big, huge guy? What makes a big, one aspect of making a big guy? Huge chest and torso. But you can draw them all sorts of ways with little legs like so. Well, this looks like some big guy who don't want to get him mad at you. He's muscle bound, big, and there's that type. And look how simple I keep it. Within the thumbnail stage. And then you can have more of your superhero type, which is a little bit more realistic. These proportions. Longer legs. Also, you guys, a tip. I find if you're doing more like figure drawing, you're always going to be better off making everything a little bit longer than shorter. If you had to go one direction, better a little bit longer than shorter. Meaning the legs, arms, like so. For your like your superhero types. Hope that makes sense. So here we got more of a cartoony but superhero type in comparison to this one there. That one, it's just the proportions are different, and that's what all your top character designers are so brilliant at. Your best ones, they just know how to play around with these shapes and forms, and you know, they usually go off. I recommend a guy named David Coleman. He draws the animals for the most part, but excellent. Really, one of my favorite character designers. Also, oh God, what's it? Hold on one second. Oh, Steven Silver. He's very good at drawing like the human designs. And he can, I mean, they can all draw everything, but I'm saying for specifically, check them out, and they really, they know their stuff. It's what they get paid for. Okay. What is the other book you said besides Richard Williams? Oh, the other book is Eric Goldberg, Character Animation Crash Course. Let me find it here. Let me see. There you go. If you can see that, Eric Goldberg, Character Animation Crash Course. Eric Goldberg is a master of animation, and his forte is cartoony stuff. You have seen his work all over the world. He's a world-class top animator. He animated, if you saw in Fantasia 2000, the flamingo sequence with the yo-yos. Just one of my favorite pieces of all time. And he animated the genie in Aladdin. He's been a great animator ever since I met him one time briefly. Well, I didn't meet him. He gave a lecture at a school back in the early 80s, and then I met him one time at Disney. But very good. He's got those two books are the ones that I recommend the most. The Illusion of Life, I also recommend. You should read them all. But I will say, as far as understanding pure animation, you know, the part that I was most interested in, which is animating in itself. It's Richard Williams, Animator Survival Kit, and the Eric Goldberg book. Just done by two geniuses, you know, so check them out. Rashimi, hello, dude. How are you? Thank you, Chris. Yes, Eric Goldberg. Chris, you just wrote it down. That's who it is. Let's see. Okay, guys, I got about 10 more minutes. It's gonna be on YouTube, so you can check it out. All I'm doing is drawing. I'm not really going. I'm more of answering questions and just drawing as I do it. Can't really think of anything else. I mean, I can just sit here and just keep drawing. I mean, a lot of people really like just to see the drawing. That's basically. I'm gonna be trying to do these more when I get home from work and I get off time. What I also do, you guys, is when I'm watching TV, I will see certain personalities and I will try to capture, I think more than anything else, more than their likeness, I try to just capture the attitude that I feel like I'm watching from that actor or news person. I'll just try to capture that sensibility. Um, I have a friend of mine, Jim Vanderkyle. This guy, you should check out his book. I don't have it with me; it's not in here. Uh, for caricaturing, Jim Vanderkyle. He's on YouTube. I'm sorry, Instagram. Now notice I got this rough lane here. I am now going to put in more realization of the drawing. When is my when's my book coming out? Uh, I don't think I'm gonna put a book out. There's so many art of. I'm showing you the art of me, but I appreciate that, Chris. I don't even know how I'd go about that. I want it to be more of you guys understand this process. I do not want to see this art form ever die out. That is one thing I definitely do not want to see. Do I think that computers one day might do it? Yeah, I think they might, but it's going to be after I'm gone. So, and there's still the idea of being able to draw this stuff is still kind of magical. And draw through, you guys. That's the other thing. Draw through your forms and shapes. Don't be afraid to put in those construction lines. And also remember there are days when it's going to come easier and days that you're going to struggle with it all day long, which is normal also. And so you guys, when you see, if you ever see on like my Instagram, you'll see finish illustrations that I do. This is exactly how I start off. I mean, this one way, but this is a lot of the times that I will start off like so. Or I'll just do tiny little thumbnails. If it's a full figure, I'll do tiny little thumbnails trying to say what kind of proportions do I want? Is the character swinging on something? This leg's back here. I'll do little thumbnails like this. Or the character is coming up, let's say reaching or something. Put a little bend in the legs. Maybe the head's down here a little bit more. We're looking down upon it. And I'll do little thumbnails like this. Sometimes I'll even do this. And this I'm gonna have to say goodbye after this one. Yes, I am. What is that? I have no idea. I just put down something there. what can I make out of this? Here I got some guy. Cowboy looking kind of guy that right there. Let me flush it out a little more. Hair coming off there. There's his neck, his shirt, big old nose right there. Let me make that opacity a bit deeper. Now flush it out a little bit more. Couple folds show the top of his hat right there. Mouth, chin, cheek, and there. Came up with something purely out of that first smudge I put in there, which is another way to approach drawing. When you get a block, if you get a block and you don't know what to draw, put down some big smudges like I did at the beginning of this drawing, and let your imagination, let the right side of your brain, as they say, let it start to take over, and don't worry about it. Don't worry if it's going to be. You're not doing these drawings to put into a museum. You're doing them to expand your horizon as far as being an artist. Even if you do fine art, you got to start somewhere. So, all right, you guys, let's see. I'm going to sign off now. When is your book? Hey, Wayne, does animation mostly require knowing how gravity works? That's a good question. Yeah. Yes. I don't know if, no, not mostly, but that's definitely a very important aspect of it, because everything we do here, is gravity bound. So if we were out in space, wouldn't really. You could get some acting, but everyone's sort of floating around. It's like even more than being underwater. You can only move at a certain speed, I believe. But it's an important aspect, but not. I won't say mostly. Let's see. How to be better at coloring your characters. I'll get into that. I don't have time for that one right now. That coloring is, you know what to do? Look at a lot of books and steal from their color themes. If you see a panel that you like, look at those colors, study them. There's analogous colors, which means colors that are related to each other, like from red to orange to yellow. Analogous. Complementary color are the opposite ones, like red to green on the color wheel. But I'll get into that later. Let's see, Rami, the variety in characters you do is wonderful. Thank you for doing it. You're welcome, Rami. Just one last thing from Rami. We really need you to criticize our 2D work every once in a while. Yes, sir. This is what I am working on right now. I want you guys to know this. I love doing this. I am making it to where it's going to be on Patreon. I'm going to make it to where it is not that expensive. And hopefully, because I'm helping you guys out, and I wasn't looking to make money on this, but for me to do this more full time, everybody needs some money. So I am setting that up right now with my partner Judy. It will be coming out very soon. and it's going to be where I'm going to have a tier to where I will be able to go over your animation, but there will be a certain fee. I hope that's all right. If you can't do it, I understand. I understand. When I first got in this business, it was very hard to get criticism, and keep, to get there. So I do understand. I hope that will help. We'll see. Let me see. We're ready. Just let us know. I will let you know, Rami Animation. I will definitely do that. All right, you guys. Thank you very much. And I'm going to try to, look, I'm going to do these sort of live streams. I don't know when I get a chance, when I get home from work. If I got time off, I'm just going to do them. The Rico and Rico show is going to continue on as of right now every other week. So that does mean that we are going to do it this coming Saturday at 10:30 Pacific time. All right, you bye. Bye-bye.